Hare Krishna to everyone. So let us start with the prayers first. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Ajnana Timirandasya Jnananjanaya Shalakaya Chakshur Unmilitam Yena Tashmai Shri Gurave Namaha. Shri Chaitanya Manovishtam Stapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kadamahyam Tada Swapadandikam. हे कृष्णा करुण सिंधु दीन बंधु जगतपते गोपेशा गोपिका कांत राधा कांत नमस्तुते तप्त कांचन गौरंगी राधे वृंदावनेश्वरी वृषभानुसुते देवी प्रणमामि हरिप्रिये वाञ्छकल्पदारुभ्यश्च कृपसिन्धुभ्य एव च पतितनां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः। जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवासदि गौर भक्त वृंद। हरे कृष्णा कृष्ण कृष्ण हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे। So I welcome all to this session. Today we are going to start with chapter 9, that is Rajaguhya Yoga. That is, Guhya means the secret, so confidential. So the king of confidential, that only we are going to see today, the most confidential knowledge. So the summary of the yesterday's chapter. So what are the 8 questions they are asked? What is Brahman? What is Adhyatma? What is Adhyajnam? Adibhautim? What is karma? What are fruitive actions? So all these questions has been asked by Arjuna, and the Lord also gave the reply. So the Atma means, that is the Jivatma, which is the soul, eternal soul embodied in this body. So the soul and the body, so what the difference, that is the connectivity, or the what is the relationship between this body and the soul. So that gives the knowledge. So how do you remember the Lord when you are leaving this body? That is prayana kalecha. So that is only by practicing is or namas. Actually, when you do the nama japa, so obviously the continuous practice, you will be able to recollect. So God will, because of God's mercy, you will be able to recollect his name at the time of death also. So Yoga Mishra Bhakti. So what is meant by Yoga Mishra Bhakti? So yoga means during the Ashtanga yoga practices, the 8 different levels: yama, niyama, ashana, pranayama, pratyahara, dharana, dhyana, and samadhi. So these 8 levels, these 8 levels defines the yoga. So by practicing this along with the devotional service, so that defines the Yoga Mishra Bhakti. So remembering Krishna by pure bhakti, that is pure bhakti, defines the Ananya Bhakti. So what do you mean by Ananya Bhakti? Ananya Bhakti means without any expectations, so and without any desires for this material realistic activities, having no desires on the materialistic outcomes. So by performing the devotional service to the Lord, that defines the Ananya Bhakti. So there are two worlds, one being the material world and another being the spiritual world. So 1/4 of the material world, but there is a 3/4 of that is spiritual world. And you would have seen the Goloka chart. So how actually the Devi Dama, Mahesha Dama, and Haridama, and Goloka Vrindavana, all those things I think Radhika Mataji would have taken. So we are in the Devi Dama, that is, and the Mahamaya, that is Mahatattva. So Bhagavan is a Yoga Maya. So even though he is a Yoga Maya, this Mahamaya has been created by him, but still he is not into this. He is above all this Mahamaya. So you would have known the supremacy of pure bhakti in attaining Krishna. So when you are reaching Krishna, So what is that is by only by the pure bhakti you can reach his abode. So these things and all, I think Radhika Mataji would have dealt you. This is a summary of the chapter 8. And today we are going to see the Rajaguhya Yogam. That means the king of the knowledge. So that is the confidential knowledge that only we are going to see. So Bhagavad, already you would have seen the 3 levels. That is chapter 2 and 3 will define the confidential knowledge. That means we are soul, we are an eternal soul, and this body is related to this materialistic world. And this soul has to be embodied in this body so that it can elevate to the higher, that is the spiritual worlds. So when the soul leaves this body, there will not be any enhancement in the level of, that is the status of the soul. It will remain as it is after it leaves the body. So in order to elevate in a spiritual path also, the soul needs a body. So this type of this Sankhya Yoga you could have studied in that is you could have heard from 2nd and 3rd chapter that defines the confidential knowledge. And the next level will be then the 7th chapter. That means Guhya, Guhyadaram and Guhyatamam. These 3 words we have to always keep in the mind. Guhya means the confidential knowledge, that is the relationship between the body and the soul. What are the characteristics of the soul, and what actually the body is made of, and then what is the status of the body. It is a perishable one, whereas soul is imperishable. So we would have studied all those things as a Sankhya Yoga. And the next is the 7th chapter, that is Jnana Vijnana Yoga. So the study between this, that is a study which gives about the soul and the body, is defined as the Jnana, whereas the eternal soul, the connectivity between the eternal soul and the Paramatma will be that is the Vijnana. What is the relationship between the Jivatma and Paramatma? So that defines. So that yogam is called as the Vijnana. So that you would have studied. So that is called as the more confidential knowledge. The 7th chapter, it defines. So that is Guhyadaram in Sanskrit. And now the 9th chapter we will be. So that means in the 7th chapter, what actually it defines is we are all part of him. That is, we have come from him only. So that is from Bhagavan, that is the Lord, to the Brahma, and Brahma has created everything here. So through him, so he is like a grandfather for us if you take it in a relationship. So like that, when you come to the, that is the relationship with the Lord. So there are 5 different types of relationship we can have. Those things and all, I think as a high level, Radhika Mataji would have told. So here we'll be always, that are two forms. One is impersonal form and the personal form. We always have focus, that is the energetic part, whereas that energy part defines, that is the impersonal form is a Antaranga Shakti actually. These things and all you would have already studied. So what are the different ways? So in this Guhyataram defines what are the ways you can, that is, we are all part and parcel of him. In the 7th chapter you would have studied. And Guhyatamam in the 9th chapter we are going to study. That defines how we can serve the Lord. What are the ways we can serve the Lord? That is the thing we are going to learn in this chapter. The sweetness of exclusive devotion. Man mana bhava mat bhakto. That means, so in whatever way we feel, that is from the heart to devote to the Lord. So that way, that is that leads to what level of surrender we have done to him, and accordingly the Lord will also show his mercy. Actually, this you would have studied in the earlier chapter also. Here also we'll be having a little more upper level, the sweetness. So anyone is willing to recite the sloka, or shall I take it up? Okay. Shri Bhagawanuvacha idam tu the guhyatamam. That's what I told. How to serve Krishna, how to serve the Lord, that defines the 9th chapter. And the speciality of this chapter is only Lord will speak. So no one, that is, there is no conversation between the Arjuna or Krishna in this. Only the Krishna will be speaking to Arjuna. Arjuna will not be asking any question in this chapter. That is the speciality of this 9th chapter. So idam tu the khuyadhamam pravakshyami anushuyave jnanam vijnana sahitam yajnatva mokshasya shubhat. But and that means, my dear Arjuna, here Lord tells, you are never envious. Anushuyave. That means you are not envious of me. So that is very important character for a pure devotee. So we should not be having a jealous, a greed, or that is the highest level of envious, or the highest level of greed being the enviousness. So those things and all are the blockages for us to become to take up a pure devotional service. So you are never envious of me. So why Lord has decided to share this knowledge to Arjuna? Basically, he being a friend, and second one being a pure devotee, and the third reason being he is not envious of the Lord. A person who is envious of Lord will be an Ashura. That will be, you will be reading in the coming chapters. So generally, the atheist type of people will always be like a Ashura Guna. So what they will be always envious of the Lord, because they think that they are only the doer, they are only the enjoyer, everything they are only doing. That means, yes, I am the doer, I am the great. So that type of nature, that false ego will be there for them actually. But here Arjuna is being surrendered to the Lord so submissively, and as a pure devotee he is listening from the Lord this the instruction which has been given by the Lord. So because you are never envious of me, I shall impart you this most secret wisdom. That means the most confidential knowledge. That means how to serve the Lord. Those things will be actually now Krishna will be giving as a knowledge sharing to Arjuna, knowing by which, that is, you shall be relieved from the miseries of the material existence. So we all have to actually relieved. We have to get relieved from the miseries. This is a dukkhalayam. So you would have studied yesterday, dukkhalayam ashashvatam. That means this world is full of miseries only, and it is always temporary. That means always this material world is prone to have changes. So maybe that one of the 5 factors, that is like in Bhagavad Gita deals with all these 5 factors, that is Jivatma, Paramatma, this Prakriti, that is the material existence, and the time, and the karma. The karma being it is not an eternal factor. The other 4 factors are all eternal. Whereas this Prakriti, that is the cosmic manifestation, is always prone to get into the changes. That is purely because of whatever actions these living entities perform on this. So I think you would have studied in the physics also, like every action has an equal and opposite reaction. So like that, whatever we are going to do on this earth, whatever we are doing on this Prakriti, so this whatever we sow on this land, accordingly that is the quality of the seed, whatever we sow on this land, accordingly the quality of the plant or the tree will get actually, it will raise up, correct na? So if you are sowing a right or a quality seed in the land, then obviously the tree which is getting that is it comes out of that land will always be in the higher quality. So that defines the quality of the seed. So a person should show a good quality seed actually. That is the devotion actually. Devotion is the highest thing for any living entity, that the purpose of a living entity is to perform devotion. So that is the basic criteria we need to follow here. So now Lord is giving the secret wisdom here. That means knowing this, that is any devotee will also come out of all the miseries of the material existence. This worldly existence actually. The second sloka being Raja Vidya Raja Khuyam Pavitram Idam Uttamam, that is pure, Idam Uttamam. So that means the Raja Vidya means the king of, that is king of education, and then Raja Khuyam means the king of confidential knowledge. So Pavitram Idam Uttamam Pratyakshvagamam Dharmayam Sushukam Kartum Avyayam. That means the knowledge, whatever the knowledge we are going to receive from the Lord, it is the king of the education. So whatever we do in the normal life in this material existence, we are going to school, college, and developing some knowledge. That is also knowledge, like that we are always getting projected now. Those are all the skills to survive in this material existence. That is the thing. The skill is different, knowledge is different. Knowledge is the, it's related to the spiritual, whereas skill, it's related to the materialistic world survive. That is, we have to survive in this. So for that sake, we are actually improving our skills. Whereas if you want to reach to the adore of the Lord, or if you want to lead into that eternal life, we need to actually gain the spiritual knowledge. So that is the secret of all secrets. It is the purest knowledge because it gives direct perception by the self-realized. That is the realized knowledge. So Vijnana means the realized knowledge, whereas knowledge defines the about the soul and the body. It is the perfection of the religion. So what do you mean by a religion actually? Religion means the dharma. So dharma means what? Your prescribed duties. So whatever the duties you have been born to do as a student life, you have to do your education. So, and you are born to do that actually. So you have to do your prescribed duties. So without any deviation, that is very important. So as a student, you have to do, as a son, what is the duty you have to do. As a father and mother, what is their duty, they will always do. So it is the karma, whatever the prescribed duty which has been defined in the Vedic system, the Varnashrama Dharmam. So you know about Varna and Ashrama, I think already Mataji would have told. Varna defines the what type of job. There are 4 categories: Brahma, Vaishya, and Kshatriya and Shudra. Whereas Ashrama defines the life based on the lifespan, the maximum lifespan of a human being 100 years in this Kali Yuga. It is divided into the 425 years actually. So that means first 25 years, that is the brahmacharyam, you need to be, that is celibacy should be followed. And the second being the grahastha, so where you'll be becoming a family person, taking care of your family and the kids. And it is your duty to take care of the wife and the kids. And the third one being the vanaprastha. This vanaprastha phase wherein we have to complete. Those days, the saintly kings will always give the throne to the son, and then they will go to the forest to perform the penance. So that was the thing. But now in this situation, this current, we need to adhere to the environment where we are sticking, correct now? So as per the government rules and regulations, how we are to follow. So we need to be more spiritual than before in the Vanaprastha time, and in the after 75, we have to lead the sannyasam. So if we are surviving, so that with respect to the mercy of the Lord, we don't know how long we'll survive. So based on that, so this purest knowledge, which varnam we belong. If you are a Brahman, that means not by birth, by the profession. So you have to teach, you have to share the knowledge. And if you are a Kshatriya, if you are in administration part, you need to take care of the administration work. If you are a Vaishya, being a business person, or you are in a manufacturing, that means you are in a cultivation, that the farmer all comes under the Vaishyas. They have to do their work, and all the work which has been performed across all the, that is either business or in the farming, everything, those are all the workers. So each and every community is very important to have the stableness in the society. If there is any deviation or some issue in one of the job, one of the varnas, so obviously it will have impact actually, it will lead to the imbalance condition. So everybody is equal in here in this society. So that's how the Lord created the society. So the purest knowledge, but because it gives a direct perception of the self by realization. That means who am I? That soul, that you need to get that soul, that is the knowledge about the soul. You need to realize who are you. So that means I am only Atma. I am not a bodily identified person. So I'll be leaving this body, and then I'll be taking one more body if I am based on my karmas and the desires, leftover desires, as per the shuttle body things. So these things, based on this knowledge, you will be come to know what will be your That is, you need to prepare for that next life. So at least we need to do the good deeds, so that in order to avoid the sins. So sins, there are different stages of the sins, like how you sow a seed in the land, and a plant will emerge and it will grow into a tree, and then after that the tree will give the flowers, and it will give the fruits. So like that, whatever sin we do, we will not get immediately the outcome of the sin. We are not at all incurring actually. Now it will take time. So it is a seed. If I have done a sin today, that will be a seed, that will be in the seed form, and I don't know when it will get ripen. Actually, it depends on the phase of that, whatever we are going to experience. It has a cycle of stages. So when you do the advanced level course, when you do Bhakti Shastri and all, that time you will be reading in that Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu. There's different stages, very detailed. So it is everlasting and is joyful and performance. These are the 9 phases actually of the Bhakti. How you can serve Lord. These are the 9 phases. That is Shravanam. This is the first and the topmost one. Until a living entity doesn't hear properly, obviously the remaining application part, we will not have the very elevated phase. So generally we need to be very attentive in hearing. So what the preachers are telling, what the acharyas are telling, those things and all, we need to be very focused and we need to listen actually. That is called as Shravanam. Here Parikshit Maharaj is listening it is from the Shukdev Goswami at the last 7 days of his death. Before the last 7 days, he got cursed. Within 7 days, he will die by the snake bite. So he don't know what to do. So he went to the Sukadev Goswami and he read Bhagavatam from the. So Sukadev Goswami is called as a parrot. Sukha means parrot. So from him, he listened the Bhagavatam. Srimad Bhagavatam has so many cantos actually. That means 12 cantos. And then we have so many that is books actually in that. So it is not possible to hear entire thing in 1 week, but how much attentive Parikshit Maharaj being, and then he learned from the Sukadev Goswami. He heard. That is the hearing. Kirtanam, that is the holy names, that is chanting the holy names of the Lord. So that leads to the transcendental qualities, actually the pastimes of Lord, all those things like Mirabai, how she was singing the songs. So like that, the Kirtanams, Smaranam, that is the Japa. I think you are all will be doing 1 round of at least, that is Hare Krishna Mahamantram, 108 beads, that Japam you will be always doing. That is remembering Lord by complete, that means repeating the names of the Lord, you will be remembering the Lord. Pada Shevanam, that is Lakshmi Devi, that is Mother Goddess Lakshmi, doing the seva to the lotus feet of the Lord. Archanam, this actually we'll be able to visualize, we will be able to see in the temples, wherein the Purohits will be doing the Archanam by reciting the holy names of the Lord. And here Dhruva Maharaj on the tapas. So Vandanam, so meditating on the Lord. Dashyam, like how Hanuman has been a servant, did servitorship to the Lord Rama. And Shakyam, so Arjuna being a friend, so being a friend of Lord. So that relationship and performing as per his guidance. So after completion of this 18th chapter, he will tell Karshochanam va. That means he will tell, I am ready to serve. That means he will be immediately after hearing all these 18 chapters of this Bhagavad Gita's Upanyasam. That means whatever the instructions he has taken from the Lord, he will apply it actually. So he will start his duty, and then without any expectation, surrendering everything in the lotus feet of the Lord. So that is how actually he has become a good Sakya. And then Atma Nivedanam means that is complete surrender actually. So these are the different types of the service we can do, how to serve the Lord. Asharadhanah purushah dharmashya parantapah aprayapya mam nivartante mrityu shamshara vardhanam. That means ashraddhana. Shraddha means that is faith. If you don't have faith in the path of devotional service, so those who don't have the faith on the path of devotional service to the Lord will never attain him actually. But what they will do, they will come back to this world. They will take again and again, that is punarapi jananam, punarapi maranam. This world, they will come back again. They will go back and they will come back until they reach to the, that is once they receive one position wherein they develop a faith on the Lord, and they will start doing the performing the devotional service. So until then we have to come. So the soul's the target is to reach the that is abode of the Lord. Until then we'll be coming back again and again here. So until we develop this knowledge, until we render the service to the Lord with the faith, so we will be never going back to him. So that is the meaning of this slokam. So ayat tatham idam sharvam jagat avyakta murtina matstani sarva bhutani nachaham shete teshavashtitah. So there are two forms, unmanifested and manifested form. So I think you would have got the definition. Manifested means you are able to visualize. Okay, you are able to visualize the Archa Vigraha in the temple. So that is called as the personal form. And you will be able to visualize if you perform, if you focus on the personal form, and if you do the japa or the penance or the tapa, whatever it may be, you will be able to visualize the Lord in that form. That is called as the manifested form. Whereas unmanifested is everywhere he is pervading. Everywhere he is pervading. So with no rupam, that means we are able to see only surrounding, we are able to see only the empty space like that. But still, Lord is everywhere actually. He is always pervading everywhere, the entire universe. So my unmanifested form, this entire universe is pervaded. That's what he is telling. All beings are in me. That means everyone is on me. That is in the next 11th or 12th chapter, you will be seeing about the Vishwarupa Darshanam, wherein what are that is Devatas and all Rishi, Munish and all the living entities, everything will be on his Rupam actually. The entire universe will be on him. Actually, he is only holding. So then all the things are in me. That means the spirit, matter, everything is on me. And I am not in them. That means in our heart, Paramatma is sitting. I think you would have heard from Radhika Mataji about that by the philosophy. So that means Jivatma and Paramatma. So both are residing in our heart. If you consider the analogy, this body as a tree, and in the heart, there are two birds sitting. So one bird being the Jivatma, we, and the other bird being Paramatma, who is always witnessing us, what are the actions we are performing. And accordingly, he will enter the two, that is account balance, he will be maintaining. That is Papa and Punya. So we no need to think about who is making a note. We will not be aware, but Lord is there. He is writing each and everything. If you have done a good karma, enter it. If you have done a bad karma, enter it. So it is not like a back balance wherein we can subtract, and that is 100 now, 100 punya and 50 papa means 100 minus 50, it will never come. We have to undergo the good deeds also, and we have to undergo all bad deeds also. But only with the mercy of Lord, we will be able to overcome the sins actually, only by doing our devotional service. So I am not into them. That means if a person is not realizing Paramatma is inside us, then obviously that is the meaning of that I am not in them. So when a person realizes Lord is there inside our heart, then obviously he is there, and on him we are also there. So that's what we have to see from this slokam. Nacha matstani bhutani pashyame yogam aishwaryam bhuta brahmna chara bhutasto mamathatma bhuta bhavanah. That means, and yet everything that is created does not rest in me. That means everything, whatever he has created, it's all pervading everywhere actually, and he is holding it. It doesn't mean that everything is resting on me. He is holding also. Behold the mystic opulence. That means the yogam aishwaryam, that is called as the mystic opulence. Although I am the maintainer of all living entity, so he is also inside our heart, and he is also outside. So everywhere he is there. So there is no place where the Lord is not there. Everywhere, even in the matter also he is there. So although I am the maintainer of all the living entities, so you know that maintainer and the protector is the Lord. And although I am everywhere, still myself is the very source of creation. So he is the Anadi. I think you would have read about this in Brahma Samhita. So Ishvara, Parama, Krishna, Sachidananda Vigraha, Anadiradir Govinda, Sarvakarya Karanam. So he is the cause of all causes actually. So all things come from him only. He is a creator. He is a maintainer. He is a annihilator. Everything is he only. So, but in the different forms we are able to visualize actually. So he has created the devatas for maintaining this material world. So yatakshashito nityam vayu sarvatara go mahan tata sarvani bhutani matstanitye uparadaya. Here as the mighty wind. So there is a wind, that means like blowing everywhere. So wind will blow everywhere. No? Always rest in the ethereal space. Know that in the same manner, all beings are rest in me. So we cannot measure how much air is present outside. Correct now? So like that only, everywhere the presence of Lord is there. So and everything is residing on him only. So it all rests on him only actually. So like how air is spread everywhere, so Lord is also pervading everywhere in the ethereal space actually. So prakritim swam avastabhya vrishjami punah bhutagramam imam krishnam avashyam prakriter vasat. The whole cosmic order is under me. This Prakriti, this entire, this cosmic manifestation is called as the Prakriti, is under me, under my will only. That is, if Lord wills to create this, he creates, and that too during the Brahma's date. And again, it will go inside him when during the Brahma's night come. So these things I think you would have already studied in the 4th chapter actually. Brahma, what is that is 1000, that is yugas, all those things you would have studied actually. One day, what is the duration, all those things and all you would have studied. So by my will, that is by the will of the Lord, it is manifested again and again. That means it is all manifested, it is always created again and again. And by the will of him, it is annihilated at the end actually. So there is a cause for creation, there is a cause of annihilation. This is a cycle which happens. This once the cycle ends, annihilation happens, all jivatmas will enter into him only, and in order to get elevated into the spiritual world, and they have to return back to the abode of the Lord. Again, the creation will start during the daytime of the Brahma. So nacha mam thani karmani nibadnanti dhananjayah udashina vadas asmin ashaktam teshu karmashu. So Dhananjaya, he tells to Arjuna, all this work cannot bind me, because he is above all the 3 gunas. He is a nirguna person actually. Whatever that materialistic nature, it has been come from him. It has come out of him only, that 8th thing, that is the Panchabhutas, false ego, intelligence, and the mind. These are the things which has come from him. So all this work cannot bind him. He is a nirgunavadi. So this Prakriti related stuff will never bind him. I am ever detached, because you know what are the 6 opulences, na? All wealth, all beauty, all what is that, fame, and all renunciation. So most of the things which are studied in the 2nd chapter, the 2nd sloka, these 6 major opulences. So he is the highest of the renunciation. So he is the highest renouncer. He never get bound. He's an akarmavadi. He will never get bonded to this materialistic nature. So that's the reason all this work, whatever is happening in this Prakriti, will never bind him actually. And I am ever detached, seated as though neutral. That means in the balanced condition. So even if you get into the good thing or bad thing, we always show our outcomes, correct now? So whatever the actions we are perform, accordingly the outcomes also when we face, we will feel sometimes happiness, sometimes sad, sometimes we'll be more sober. So those type of things and all, our feelings always will come out, correct now? That is based on the dualities. Whereas a person who is situated, fixed in their mind on the Lord, obviously they will become a stable person or a sober person. So like that, Bhagavan is the highest in that actually. He is a neutral person. So he will not discriminate anything, good or bad, right or wrong, nothing he will discriminate. Everything we have to walk through this actually. So whatever we have done, if the good also we have to walk through, bad also we have to walk through. So that type of nature actually is the highest of that, but we have to elevate to at least to an extent for that actually. So next, Madhya Maya Dakshya Shena Prakriti. I think whether I did this thing, yeah, I have done. So Maya Dyakshena Prakriti hai Suyate char Suyate shara charasharam Hetunane Kaunteya Jagat Vipari Vartate. That means this material nature is working under my direction. Everything is working under his direction only, both spiritual and material. Everything works under his direction only. But we are all in this materialistic world. So, and that's the reason it has been where this Prakriti is working under him, and it is producing all moving and unmoving things. We are all moving things. So like plants and all, they are non-moving living entities, whereas we are all moving, like animals, human beings are all moving entities actually. So by its rule, this manifestation is created and annihilation again and again. So as per this cosmic, this Prakriti thing, that is Lord always by his will, he creates and it gets annihilated again and again. So when it gets annihilated, everything goes inside, and whatever way it enters, for example, you would have studied in the computer programming or anyone is in that, like a lift, that is last in first out, or first in first out, like that. So whatever enters inside, it will come the first in and first out actually. So which world, for example, in the 8th chapter you could have seen that is 14 lokas, correct na? That is above this earth there are 7 lokas, and below our earth there are 7 lokas actually. So above our earth is 6 lokas and below our earth is 7 lokas, totally 14 lokas. So if Svargaloka or Brahmaloka enters inside first, the outcome will be like the Brahmaloka only, will while creation it will come first out. So like that, the creation and annihilation will be always be visualized actually, always be manifested by its rule. So avajhananti mam mudah manushim tanum ashritam param bhavam ajananto mama bhuta maheshwaram. So those who doesn't know the real nature of the Bhagavan, he is by soul and that is, he is a super soul, and his body both are eternal. So but we are all jivatmas, our soul only is eternal, whereas the body is always perishable. So but the people who are in the ignorance always deride him when he Swayam comes down to this earth. So during every yuga, Lord comes here to protect the devotees, to rescue, that is to substand, that is re-enchant the dharma, and to clear the adharmic activities, all those things. For that reason he always descends in this world. So when he descends, that time the fools who doesn't know his, or that is the real nature, they deride him actually as in the new, that is the human form. They don't know the transcendental nature, that is the spiritual nature of the Lord, they doesn't know. And my supreme dominant over all about, and his overall his whatever the, what you tell, the energy levels, whatever he possesses, that qualities they doesn't know actually. That's the reason they treat him as a normal human. Magoshaha moghashaha moga karmano moga jnana vichetashaha rakshasim ashuram chaiva prakriti mohinam stritah. So those who are thus bewildered, that means the people who are in the ignorance mode, so are all attracted by the demonic and atheist activities, actually atheistic views. So in the deluded condition, that means you will get into the fear and then anxiety, all those things, and your mind also will get a what means it will drop down. So because whatever you are executing, so that is the situation, If you are happy, accordingly, your mind will be there, act accordingly. Like that, when you are in a bewildered or in a deluded condition, when you are losing your confidence, that time, obviously, their hopes for liberation. That means every living entity has to go back to the abode, actually. That is the Vaikuntham. They have to reach. So their hopes for liberation will not be fulfilled, because they'll be more into the fruitive activities. Whatever actions they are performing, the outcomes they will be getting bonded, because they'll be expecting. They have a desire on the outcomes. Because of that, they will get bonded, and their culture of knowledge are all defeated. So, and based on this nature, so their knowledge, whatever they acquired, so it will go waste, actually. It is all defeated. So whatever knowledge they have gained, nothing will be useful. They will not apply that knowledge. So obviously they have not understood the knowledge in the right way. So Mahatma Nastuta Mam Partha Daivim Prakrutim Ashritah Bhajayante Ananya Manasho Nyatva Bhutatham Avyayam. So those who are not deluded. So when a sober person, so he will never be deluded. He will be in a balanced condition at any instant of the life. They may be in a very crucial phase. They may be in a very major crisis. So they may be in a physically not able to do something. All type of situations, a sober person will be always balanced. The great souls are, so such type of souls were under the protection of the divine nature. So how the divine nature is protecting? Because they will be more devotional to the Lord. So by rendering the service to the Lord, a person will not get deluded, and they will be more balanced, and such great souls always be under the protection of the Lord. No need to go and ask this also to Lord. You render your service, obviously you will be under the protection. So for example, that is the faith. So if you believe a friend that he will come and rescue when you are in a crisis, that faith makes the friend also to reach that place. This is the normal, that is a living entity we do practically in this world. So like that, when you believe in the similar way with this to the Lord, that means if you have a faith towards the Lord, obviously without any hesitation, Lord will come and rescue us. This faith only, that unflinching faith, that is trust, we should always have on the Lord. They are fully engaged in the devotional service because they know me as the Supreme Personality of Godhead, the original, that is the, and inexhaustible, that is, it will be never exhaustible, actually. That means we cannot find where the starting, where the end, nothing. What are his energy levels, how much we will be able to visualize, how much we will be able to realize, nothing we'll be able to do, because our senses are all limited. So the capacity to carry this, the knowledge about the Lord, is very, very limited. That is the reason. So because this lokam, this Prakriti is in the conditioned form, and we are all conditioned souls. So we have been born to the three gunas, that is the Sattvam, Rajas and Tamas. And when we elevate above all these three gunas only, we will be able to know to an extent about the Lord. Satatam kriteyanto mam yatantascha dridhavratah namasyantascha mam bhaktya nitya yukta upashyate. Nitya yukta, that is always in the yogic practice. That is, yukta means a person who is well versed in the yogic practice. Nitya means permanent, actually. So always chanting my glory. Satatam kirtayanto, Kirtanam. So always, one second. Kamlesh, நீ சாருக்கு கால் பண்ணுமா, நான் ஒரு மீட்டிங்ல இருக்கேன். ஓகே. யதந்தஸ்சா திருதாவ்ருதஹ. So namasyantascha mam bhaktya, bhakti. So that means when you chant the glories of the Lord, enduring with great determination, that means strong faith. So there is no deviation in performing this bhakti seva, bowing down before me. That means we are actually, when we are praying to Lord, we need to bow our head, and then we need to bow, and then we need to do the prayers. These great souls perpetually worship me with devotion. So this is the prabhavam. So that means how you execute the devotion, that always come from internal, actually. So that whatever way you are doing the actions or karmas, or whatever the devotional way you are taking, it always come from internally. So when you have the pure devotion, obviously that surrenderness and the way of performing the devotion will be more of the what is that convincing way we can tell. Even if somebody sees also, they will be able to realize your pure bhakti level. So sometimes we always will get distraction and distract. Because of distraction, we will not be able to do that much level. But in order to get back, that means you need to drag back this. The mind should always pull the senses action back to the stable state. That is very important. But how to do that? Actually, by performing the bhakti seva, or doing the nama japa, or whatever the devotional service, eating prasadam and having the devotee association, always will elevate you and make you to move in the balanced situation. Even though in the worst come worst situation also, you will never explode yourself in that condition. So always you will have a balanced thing. So here the great souls, you can see the Prabhupada is doing along with the other devotees, he is doing the, that is the, he is singing the glories of the Lord. So obviously that Sankirtanam will always be the more rejoiceful thing. So that elevates a person into the devotional service. Pitaham ashaya jagato matata dhata pitamahah Vedyam pavitram onkara rikshama yajur evachah. So that means there are three Vedas, that is Bhagavan. We are representing Rig, Yajur, Shama, these three Vedas. I am the father, Pitaham, that means I am the father, as a Jagato, for this universe actually. The mother, the support and the grandsire, that is Pitamaha. Because when you, Brahma only creates these things now, so he has learned how to create. For that he did 1,000 years of the penance, and then he took the knowledge from the Lord. He received the knowledge, and based on that only he is creating that is the Jivatmas here. There are 84 lakhs thousands of species which are available here. All are created by him, but the knowledge has been given by the Lord. So I am the object of the knowledge. So he is the object. Bhagavan is the Lord, object of the knowledge. The purifier. He can only purify us. So when you perform a pure devotional service, obviously, whatever the waste things, junk things which you have internally inside, it may be from so many years also, it may be in yesterday's also. So whatever the thing has happened, if something has happened when we won't expect, according to our expectance, if something happens, then obviously that will become as a, internally it will have the, that is like a waste. It will get dumped here. So those type of things actually we need to flush it out. So how we can flush this actually? Only by doing the devotion actually. So I am also the representation of Rig, Sama and Yajur Vedas are the Bhagavan actually. So Ghatir Bharta Prabhu Shakshi Nivasya Sharanam Shrutu Prabhava Pralayasthanam Nidanam Bijam Avyayam. So he is the whole. What is the goal of our life? Bhagavan. So we have to reach his adom. That is the target. He is the goal for us. He is the sustainer. He makes us to sustain here. So internally sitting and guiding us, because we're all with the dualities. So there will be one good thought which always come, that is from the Paramatma. We need to take it. But based on our gunas, if it is Sattvam, obviously we'll take that actually. If it is we are Rajo or in the tamasic nature, obviously we will overrule with the qualities like a greediness or enviousness. Because of that, we will overrule the good thing and we incur into the sins actually. So the master, he is the witness internally sitting inside the abode. That is, he is the permanent, he is our permanent abode actually. We have to go back to him, the refuge. So where we can go and take the shelter? Under his lotus feet only. The most dear friend, he is the dear friend. So there are 5 types of relationship we can take in. That is I think that is normally as a devotee, a servitor, a friend, a conjugal love, or a parental love. So these type of relationship we can have, because he is in the personal form, and his Shakti, that is the Antaranga Shakti is also internally there. So he is energy and energetic, both. He is not only energy, he is energy and energetic. So in the personal form, we always have we need to meditate upon him. I am the creation and the annihilation, the basis of everything. So everything we need a base. Na? So that basis is from him only we are getting. The resting place and the eternal seed. That is the eternal seed is what? This Jivatma, we are getting into the body. That is the womb of a mother. Na? That is the eternal seed, the Jivatma which enters into the body. So and resting place. So finally we have to rest in his abode only. So tapam ye aham varsham nirgranyame utrashami cha amritam chaiva mrityuscha sad ashakchaham arjuna. So I can control heat, rain and drought. So whatever we are doing the deeds in this world, Prakriti, the living entities, when we go against the nature always punishes us. This is the one proverb we always see, correct na? So that is not a punishment actually. Whatever actions we have performed, the reactions will always come back. So whatever we do for this Prakriti, we will always get in the returns that we need to know. Whatever we sow, that only we will harvest. So Bhagavan is he will control everything. So, but whatever karmas we have done, that obviously we need to get the reaction of the karmas, we have to face it actually. So I control heat, the rain and the drought. I am immortal. That means Bhagavan is always eternal. And I am also death personified. He is that is the Kalan. He will be always, when we are leaving this soul, the soul leaves the body. So obviously, if you are going to the Vaikunta, means the Vishnu Tudas will come actually to receive us. Otherwise, whatever based on the karmas, Yamadudas will be receiving. So that death form also that is Rupam also is his form only. Both being and non-being are in me. That means whatever is there, that means the matter, spirit, everything is on him only actually, being and non-being. So there is nothing apart from him in this world. That's what we need to conclude here. So Traividyamam Shoma Paha Putha Papa Yajnairvar Ishva Swarga Gathim Paratye Ante Te Punyam Ashadya Surendreya Lokam Ashananti Divyan Divi Deva Bhoga. So that means, as per the Vedic way of philosophy, so most of the things are done in the Karma Kanda. Veda rituals and all na, which there are karma kanda related rituals. We perform many things in this world actually. So we do some yajna to perform clear some obstacle or to get the divine mercy. All those things we do in this world, correct na? The Vedas, whatever tells na, so many things will be related to the karma kanda. So when you are doing a karma kanda thing, that means expecting some fruity outcomes of the whatever the yajnas you have done. So obviously we will go elevated into the Swarga Loka only. So there we will bring the Somarasa, wherein we can survive there for some time, seeking the heavenly planets and worship me indirectly. So that means we'll be praying the Devatas, and they also will grant actually. So where they enjoy the godly delights. That means we also pray the Devatas, and accordingly we receive the blessings from the Devatas. But indirectly, whatever we worship, it goes to him. And whatever we receive that blessing, those blessings are indirectly from him only. So this is the chakra. So this giant wheel, where we start, we have to come and end here only. Like that only, when we are born here, and obviously we have to go back, and that is the death will approach, and again we'll come back, and rebirth will happen. This rebirth cycle will be always happening here. Te tam bhuktva swargalokam vishalam shane punya mrityi lokam vishanti evam trayi dharmam anuprapanna gathagatham kama labhante. So when they have just enjoyed, so until you have that good deeds, you will be taking pleasure in that heavenly planets. And again, we have to come back, that Mritilokam Vishanti. We have to come back to this Mritilokam. So we have to again, once that account balance is getting cleared, obviously we have to return here. through the Vedic principles, they achieve only flickering happiness. These are all temporary happiness. So whatever we go to the Swargalokam and there we enjoy that and all is temporary only. So the permanent one is reaching to the abode of the Lord. So Ananya Chintayanto Mam Echana Paryupashate Tesham Nityabhiyuktanam Yogakshemam Ahamyaham. So those who worship me with devotion, who worship Lord with a pure devotion, meditating on him, on his transcendental form. That means his transcendental form. If you are meditating on him by recollecting his transcendental form to them, I carry what they lack and preserve what they have. What they have. So this is a very important sloka. You have to keep in the mind. So Lord is always there to take care of us. So what we possess, he will always take care of that. And what we are missing, that those things he will always give through his mercy. So do the devotion. So perform the devotion, or how much ever you are able to contribute the time. So that particular time you do it, that is more than sufficient, but do with devotion. So don't do in the distracted mode. Doing 2 hours of japam with more distraction is waste. Do 10 minutes that is with more focused. That itself is, it will give a very good devotional service actually. So that should be the quality of a devotional service. Always you should have the devotion should be more into the faith and more of the attached mode. With the devotion we need to do, that is praying to Lord with more devotion, that is very expected. So if you are more distracted and thinking about the day-to-day activities, or somebody has done something to you and how to give the reply to them, those type of, because mind will always be wandering. We have to control the mind actually. Without controlling, we will not be able to focus on the Sachidananda Rupam of the Lord. So when we are able to focus on that, obviously, even though you are doing a short duration of the bhakti, that always will be helping you to avoid the great danger which you may be facing in the future actually. So ye api anya devata bhakta yajante shraddhayan vitah te api mam ya eva kaunteya yajante avidhi purvakam. So whatever a man may sacrifice to other gods, that means whatever we do worship to the other gods, that means the devatas, it is really meant for me alone, because all devatas has been created by the Lord, and whatever the energetic things and all the devatas possess, they have been given some powers to administer this prakriti. So everything has come from the Supreme Lord itself. So even though we offer to the devatas, indirectly it will go to the Lord only, and whatever blessings we receive from the devatas all comes from the Supreme Lord only. So but it is offered, this knowledge we are doing without knowing this knowledge only, we are offering to the devatas. So even though we pray to the devatas, everything comes from the Lord only, and whatever we are doing to the devatas, that reaches to Lord only indirectly. This knowledge we should know, but we are doing this things without knowing the true understanding. There also you need to do the pure bhakti. We should not do the business with the Lord, but many people will do those things, because we pray, Lord, please save me from this crisis. I will do this thing, I will do that thing, those things and all we'll pray. I will do this puja, I will for a Ganpati, I will put 108 coconuts. Ganpati, you please clear these obstacles. So like that and all, we do business dealings with the Lord, because they are managing this materialistic world. We also do the business dealings in the materialistic way only. We should not do that actually. We should do devotion only to those gods also. So yanti deva vrata devan pitran yanti pitra vratah bhutani yanti budejya yanti madhyagnopi mam. So those who worship that is the devatas will take birth among the demigods. So whom we are worshipping, we will be reaching that world, and we'll be taking birth there only actually. So those who worship the gods, that means the devatas, will take birth among the demigods actually. Those who worship ghosts, that means spirits, will take birth among the such beings. That means yesterday you would have seen there are some worlds also for the ghosts and spirits. To that world they will go, and there only they will take the birth. Those who worship ancestors world also is there. There they will go and take the rebirth. And those who worship me will live with me. They will come and live because there is no rebirth. Once you reach the abode of the Lord, you will never come back here. So we need to see. So once we are going there, we should not come back. Otherwise, if we come back in this Dukkalayam, we have to always face the miseries. Patram pushpam phalam toyam yo me bhaktya prayachyati tat aham bhaktya upahrittam ashnami prayatatmanah. So if one offers me with love, so only with a pure love and devotion, if you offer a leaf, a little water, or a fruit, or a flower, the Lord will take. He is not asking any grand foods and all. But if you are affordable, you can do. If a person is not affordable, if a human being, based on their financial status, if they are not affordable to do like this grandly, they can do only thing, one glass of water, two tulsi leaves, and one flower, or one fruit. You can keep 2 bananas, you can keep, and with Shuddha Bhakti, you can pray to the Lord. That devotion will always reach to him. So if one offers me with love and devotion of leaf, flower, fruit, or water, I will accept it. This only Lord is asking. He is not asking any great thing. He is asking only with devotion. Whatever you offer it with devotion. That is very, very, very important. Bhaktya upahritam. So you have to offer with devotion actually. Yet karoshi, yet asnashi, yet joheshi, tadashi, yet tapasyashi kaunteya, tat kurshva mat arpanam. So what and all, here again he is guiding Arjuna. What and all you are going to do, what and all you are going to eat, what and all you are going to create, and what and all you are going to give. So everything you do on, that is you have to do on for sake of me only. That's what he is guiding here. So all that you do, all that you eat, all that you offer, that means you are offering to the Lord, all that give to other people also, and all the austerities, that means whatever the sevas you are doing to the Lord, that you may perform, should be done as an offering unto me. That means everything, whatever karma or whatever the action we are performing in this materialistic world, which may be the prescribed duties, everything you should do it with a devotion service to the Lord. So when you are doing it as a devotional service to Lord, you will not get bondage to the karmas, that is outcomes of the actions. So obviously you will be getting elevated to the liberated mode. So when you are offering your prescribed duties, actions to the offering, as offering to the Lord, obviously you will never get bonded. Samoham sarva bhuteshu name devashyosti napir priyah ye bhajanti to mam bhaktaya mayi te teshu chapyaham. So I envy no one. Lord never feels any jealous on anyone actually, and he is never partial to anyone, and he never punishes actually. That we need to know. Whatever actions we perform, that outcome only we are always suffering or enjoying. That's it. Lord never punishes anyone, and he will never take anyone's sin. But with his mercy, we can get, that is, waive off from the sins. So for that we have to do devotion. I am equal to all. He will always treat everyone equal. But whoever renders service unto me in devotion is a friend. So whoever is doing the devotional service or whatever the prescribed duties in devotion on to me, to him, obviously he will be the best friend for him. And I am also friend to him. So we also treat him as a friend. Apiches sudur charcharu bhajate mam ananya bhakta sadur shadur eva shaman eva mantahevaya shamagvyava vyavasayit vyavishyato shaha. That means even if one commits the most abdominal actions, that means the lower, well, that is lower way of life, like killing or cheating or taking other people's things like that. That means very low level of actions. If a person performs not by the birth, by the actions, by the job, if they are cheating people and they are looting money and they are killing people, these type of people also, if they are, once they get a anugraha of a guru or someone, if they perform a devotional service, obviously they'll be considered as a saintly person because he is properly situated, in the bhakti yoga. So that is the reason he will be considered as the highest soul, actually, the greatest soul. So because by the time he reaches this saintliness, obviously he would have realized what and all he has done, the mistakes, and then he would have rendered the service to the Lord, and he would have got the Papa Vimokshanam also. So whatever karmas we do in this world, we have to pass through that actually. There is no deviation. But if you have realized your mistake, and if you are doing a devotional service to the Lord, obviously with the mercy of the Lord, we will get wave off. Otherwise, we have to undergo all those things. क्षिप्रं भवति धर्मात्मा सश्वाशान्तिं निगच्छति कौन्तेय प्रतिज्ञानिः न मे भक्ता प्रणश्यति. He quickly, so the person who has been elevated in such a way becomes righteous. So he will become that means in the dharmic position, he will enter into the dharmic phase and attains the peace. That means he will get the moksha. So declare it bodily that my devotee never perishes. That means Bhagavan, that is the Lord's devotee, will never get. That means they will always be there eternally. They will serve him along. They reside in his abode and they do service. They render the service to him. They will never perish actually. माम ही पार्था व्यापार्षितः ये अपिशो पापयो नयः श्रियो वैश्यस्तथा शूद्रास्ते पियांति पराम गतिम. So those who take shelter under the Lord, though being a lower birth, that means they may be like the previous thing we have read now here. So that means like here Jagai and Madai, these two people, they used to kill people, they used to loot the people, all those things. But during Chaitanya's that time, so his disciple Nityanand also. So what he did, he gave mercy to those two people, and then this even Nityananda got hurt by them. So this is the scene where Chaitanya Mahaprabhu didn't accept the beatings from these lower level of people. So he came rushing there to give back something to both the devotees. But later on, with the mercy of this Nityananda Guru, so they both got elevated as great souls. This is what we have to see here. So when they take shelter under the Lord, so they may be a lower birth also. So even Brahmanas being the elevated, because they know the Vedas, they render service to the Lord. But other job-oriented people like Kshatriyas or Shudras or Vaishyas, whoever it may be, so they are not given that. They are into their own things, correct na? So they are not into these Brahmanical things. So they ultimately, if they do service to the Lord, whatever way we are going to do the Lord, they also will be considered as an elevated souls. So there is no discrimination. There is no discrimination. Either he is a Brahmana, he is a Vaishya, he is a Kshatriya, or a Shudra, or a woman, whatever it may be. Everyone is treated equal here. That's what this sloka tells. So can approach the supreme destination. There is nothing like that. Only the person who is doing this devotional service, always like Brahmanas, only will attain the Bhagavan's abode. Nothing like that. Everyone can do, they can render the service to the Lord and they can reach the abode of the Lord. Manmana bhava mad bhakto madhyaji mam namaskuru mam evashyashi yuktaivam atmanam mat parayanah. So from this sloka, we should come to know, we should always engage our mind. So in thinking of the Lord, that means in the subconscious mind, we need to have the practice of having the Lord in the subconscious mind and doing our prescribed duty related to this materialistic world in an attentive way and in the devotional way. Offer the obeisances, that means provide, you have to respect him and worship him. Being completely absorbed in like this, if you are completely absorbed in him, surely you will go back to him. So that's what Lord is telling. So when you are rendering a service, devotional service, and every prescribed duty has a devotional service, and you will always have the in the heart, that means in the subconscious mind, what is the thinking thought process of the Lord, obviously you will be surely reaching him. So always whatever you have in the subconscious mind, it will always come out when you are in the crisis or when you are going to leave this body. It will always come. That's the reason you have to practice this japa and namasmaranam. Always you have to render actually. Yes. With this, I have done with this. So any doubts you can ask me. Unmute yourself. Shangaram Chakravarti. I think you are able to unmute you by yourself. No, madam. No, madam. Okay, thank you. What are you doing, Prabhu? Are you studying in a college? So Mataji used to do some bridge course also, na? I think tomorrow she will do. So I don't know about what is the content of the bridge course. So Anjali Mishra Mataji, any doubts? Okay. So shall we close the session? If there are no doubts, she's doing a Mahamantra Japam also. She does that daily 6 times, 6 rounds extra. Yes. Can we do that for 54 rounds and can we close the session? Okay. Thank you. We will do